All praise to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, enough respect to the brothers teaching the truth all over the earth. I just got done watching the elder apostle Gabar's, the priests of the Most High wore long garments, and this is a response to that lesson, which was an edifying lesson. And the apostle basically was giving an exhortation to the brotherhood and telling guys to stop wearing baby garments, and he proved it through the scriptures that the ancient men of Israel wore long garments, and I would agree. I see a lot of little things with guys, in the truth. One thing which I particularly hate, I hate to see a guy with a wife beater on under his garment, but I am not the apostles, so I can't, send out a decree unto men and tell them don't do it. But you brothers out there, you've never seen the apostles with a damn wife beater on under their garments, okay? And brothers should take note of that. Because you got guys that do that. You wear your wife beaters and these cut off shirts under your garment, and it look like when you got your garment on that you're naked underneath it. And it really, you really should stop doing it. But like I said, I'm not the apostles, and I can't tell you what to do, okay? But in any event, I just wanted to do a quick response to his lesson, the Elder Apostle Gabar's lesson on the GMS Walk and Talk 8. And mine is the priests of the Most High wore long garments, past and future. Okay? Past and future. Because in the past, we wore long garments, and the scriptures also tell you in the future we're going to do the same thing. So let's get one quick scripture here. Also, I pulled up the images on Google Images. I put in the ancient skirt of Israelite men. And of course, they're going to show you Edomites because they say that they're Israelites. But even these devils knew, that the Israelites wore long garments. You can see here ancient Hebrew clothing, and then you'll see, just a couple of different instances, and then you'll start to see the ones from today, more modern. As you see here, even here, it says biblical clothing, Wikipedia. You can see, and of course, they got Edomites pretending, that are showing you images of Edomites with our ancient dress. You can see here some of the people from today. These are the Israelite groups. It says Hebrew Israelite culture. You see, and you see several nice garments going down to the foot long. Now, what we hate is these fucking T-shirts with the garment with the fringes on it. Which is not biblical, but you have guys that do that. Because that's what Jake is doing what he want to do, really. Taking something modern and try to make an ancient thing modern, which is really going off, but that's a whole nother subject. Now, I'm going to read real quick here. This is 1 Samuel 24:1. This is the past. And it came to pass when Saul was returned from the following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness of En-Gedi. Saul was looking for David to kill him. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goats. And he came to the sheep coast by the way, and there was a cave, and Saul went in to cover his feet. And David and his men remained in the sides of the cave, and the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of the which the Lord said unto thee, Yahweh, behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thine hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privately. And you see right here, Saul had on a long garment. It was called, the skirt is the bottom of it. Let's look up the term here. Because King David could have easily killed Saul, but I'm just reading this for a point. So the word is kanap, right? And you go here, it says an edge or extremity. And then it goes into something else. It says, of a bird or army, a wing, of a garment or bed clothing, a flap, right? As you go down, it just says skirt. So, at the edge of a long garment, right, or the long garment going down to your foot, it was called in that scripture the skirt. And you can plainly know. Now, today they have skirts, and they'll say it's a woman's garment. But Esau turned everything upside down pursuant to the scriptures, right? So again, and the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of which the Lord said unto thee, Behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thine hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privately. And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. And he know that he cut off the royal garment, right? He probably cut the fringes off of it. He doesn't say that, but he cut off the bottom, you know. He had cut off, you know, it says, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. And he said unto his men, the Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, the Lord's anointed. And that's really why his heart smote him, because Saul was the Most High's anointed. He was anointed to be king. To stretch forth mine hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of the Lord. So David stayed his servants with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also rose afterward and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, my Lord the king, my Lord the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, behold, David seeketh thy hurt? Why are you listening to people tell you that I'm trying to kill you? Behold, this day thine eyes have seen how that the Lord Yahweh had delivered thee today into mine hand in the cave. And some bade me kill thee, but mine eyes spared thee. And I said, I will not put forth mine hand against my Lord, for he is the Lord's anointed. Moreover, my father, see the skirt of thy robe in my hand, for in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe, and killed thee not. Know thou and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in mine hand, and I have not sinned against thee, yet thou huntest my soul to take it. The Lord judge between me and thee, and the Lord avenge me of thee, but mine hand shall not be upon thee. As saith the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceeded from the wicked, but mine hand shall not be upon thee. After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom dost thou pursue? After a dead dog? After a flea? The Lord therefore be judge and judge between me and thee, and see and plead my cause, and deliver me out of thine hand. And it came to pass, when David had made an end of speaking these words unto Saul, that Saul said, is this thy voice, my son David? And Saul lifted up his voice and wept, and he said to David, thou art more righteous than I, for thou hast rewarded me good, whereas I have rewarded thee evil. And thou hast showed this day how that thou hast dwelt, Salakia, and thou hast showed me this day how that thou hast dealt well with me. For as much as the Lord had delivered me into thine hand, thou killest me not. For if a man find his enemy, will he let him go well away? Wherefore the Lord reward thee good for that thou hast done unto me this day. So that was, I had to finish the story off, but the main point we wanted to get out of it, showing that Saul had on a long garment, and David cut off that long garment, right? So the ancient men, because Saul was a king, but he also prophesied, right? So we know that Saul was heavily involved, and he was a man of the Lord at a time, and he wore long garments. Now that's the past. Now look at the future. Israelite men wore long garments in the past, and we will wear them in the future, as you see here. Zechariah chapter 8 verse 22, it says, I started 20. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, it shall yet come to pass that there shall come people and the inhabitants of many cities, and the inhabitants of one city shall say to another, saying, let us go speedily to pray before the Lord, and to seek the Lord Yahweh of hosts. I will go also. Yea, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Lord of hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that Yahweh is with you. So you see it in the future coming. Once the nations are let out of their captivity, after the 1,000 years, then they're going to want to worship the Most High too. It's the same way. And they're going to be taking hold to our skirts. They're going to be taking hold to our long garments, our majestic priestly garments that we're wearing. And they're going to want to worship the Most High. Let me read it again. Zechariah 8:22. Yea, many people in the strong nation shall come in to seek the Lord of hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that the Most High is with you. You see? So let me just prove that. Matter of fact, the nations they're going to have to worship the Most High. And I just misspelled a word. Just bear with me 1 second here. So you saw it plainly that they're going to take hold of our long priestly garments. They're going to be trying to worship the Most High. Zechariah 14 and 16. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up, and come not that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. You see it? So there you go. You know that that's a future prophecy. So the men of the Most High wore long garments in the future, in the past, and they will do so even in the future. Alright, so the apostle was definitely on point. And you take heed, you brothers out there, man. It just so happens that my brother hit me with a new garment a few weeks ago, and it's longer than the other ones that I have, and it's nearly all the way down to the foot. So, that's the spirit. So I want to say all praise to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Enough respect to the brothers teaching the truth all over the earth. See you again soon with another lesson, Lord willing. Shalom.